after the ayahuasca is when she flipped. That's when she kind of like started going off the deep end.
This person is very dangerous and she has already threatened to kill me, and I'm trying to save my life.
She was so blissful, she was so sweet, and then she turned into an absolute narcissistic monster.
Catiacia Torres Soares, known as Cat Torres, was born on October 24, 1992, in Belém, Brazil. She grew up in a challenging environment, facing poverty with an alcoholic father and a sick mother. This difficult upbringing made her aspire to a better life. Even as a child, Cat had a unique look, often wearing red lipstick and sporting a bob hairstyle, similar to Coco Chanel. Due to her beauty and height, Cat was often encouraged to pursue modeling, which she saw as a way to improve her situation. She started modeling for fashion brands in Brazil and participated in local beauty pageants. This led to a major opportunity with a modeling agency that took her to Europe at 18. In Milan, she quickly gained fame in lingerie and swimsuit modeling, traveling worldwide for photo shoots and gaining access to glamorous parties and exclusive social circles. In October 2013, Cat made news when rumors emerged about her dating famous Hollywood actor Leonardo DiCaprio after they were spotted together in Cannes. The Brazilian media quickly picked up the story, dubbing her DiCaprio's new blonde girl. Although Cat initially claimed they were dating, she later denied any romantic relationship, but the attention had already raised her profile. Seizing the opportunity, she moved to the US in December 2013 to pursue acting. While her acting career didn't take off, Cat continued to model successfully. She maintained homes in Los Angeles and New York, frequently traveling for photo shoots and fashion shows. Even while living abroad, her fame in Brazil increased in 2014 as she secured major projects with brands like Victoria's Secret, L'Oreal, and Gillette. That year, she also started to rebrand herself as a lifestyle influencer. Under the Instagram handle, Catialuz, she shared beautiful photographs of her travels and life in New York and Los Angeles. Cat's social media painted a picture of a luxurious life atop the W residences in Lower Manhattan, where she stayed with a friend. Unknown to many, though, behind the lavish lifestyle hid a dark reality. The woman was allegedly financed by wealthy men in exchange for bedroom favors, including a Russian oligarch, who paid for her high-end apartment and showered her with luxury items. The man, who only became known as A among her trusted friends, even flew her across the globe just to spend time with him. Yeah, she's hot. She's got a Russian billionaire giving her money. Like, good for her. I got to enjoy it too. I got free rent. However, this arrangement came to an end in 2015 when Cat suffered from a serious bacterial infection that resulted in a mastectomy. In addition to her health issues, she was also in grief due to her mother's passing after a lengthy battle with cancer. The blows to her personal life ended her modeling career prematurely, forcing the resilient woman to look for other means to survive. It was at this point that Cat's career took a different turn. She fully embraced becoming an influencer, and by 2016, was able to amass a following. Her modeling success, magazine features, and Hollywood connections gave her an air of credibility that she used to monetize her growing number of followers. The same year, she married Colborne Bell, an artist and entrepreneur known in the crypto space as the founder of the Museum of Crypto Art. Together, they worked on growing Cat's brand by venturing into the wellness and life coaching space. Her website made bold claims, offering potential clients the love, self-esteem, and financial success they had always dreamed of. For $150, clients could book exclusive coaching sessions where Cat claimed she could solve any problem, promising to help people manifest their dreams into reality. Her techniques involved a mix of hypnosis, meditation, and exercise routines, all packaged in a subscription service that provided access to videos on relationships, wellness, business success, and spirituality. To bolster her new persona, Cat drew inspiration from various self-help gurus and spiritual leaders. She traveled across Brazil with her husband, exploring different religious practices. One figure who captivated her was John of God, a self-proclaimed medium and healer. However, the man was eventually sentenced to 118 years in prison for numerous cases of violating his followers dating back to 1973 until his arrest in 2018. Kat also idolized Tony Robbins, an American life and business coach. She attended his conferences and incorporated elements of his teachings into her own. Furthermore, her involvement in Hollywood circles introduced her to ayahuasca ceremonies, which involved drinking a hallucinogenic Amazonian tea. This soon became a significant part of her self-help persona. Unlike others who used the tea sparingly, Kat claimed to drink it monthly, believing it enhanced her abilities as a medium. However, people close to her began noticing the negative changes the substances had on her mentality and personality, leading to the eventual dissolution of her marriage and friendships. In February 2017, she published her autobiography, The Voice. The book detailed her journey of overcoming her past and achieving spiritual growth, along with claims of her ability to predict the future due to mystical voices that communicated with her. She promoted the book on Brazilian talk shows, claiming that it was written while she was in a trance. Kat's personal story of surviving violence in her youth struck a chord with women who had endured similar experiences. Her story gave them hope, and she became an example to them of how they could also turn their life around. Because of this, many of these vulnerable women disclosed their deepest insecurities and desires to Kat, believing she held the answers to their problems. One of them was Ana, a Brazilian woman who also experienced a difficult childhood and went to the US in search of a better life. She discovered Kat in 2017 during a low point in her life and found strength in her words. Drawn by the influencer's apparent success and wisdom, Ana made the life-altering decision to give up her university studies in Boston and move to New York to become Kat's live-in assistant in 2019. She was promised a salary of $2,000 a month for doing housework and looking after the ex-model's pets. However, upon arriving in New York, she was faced with a different version of the influencer. The apartment was messy and smelled bad because of the pets, and even Kat appeared disheveled, a stark contrast to her polished social media presence. Making matters worse, the ex-model soon became highly dependent on Ana, requiring assistance even for basic tasks like showering. Ana found herself working constantly, only resting when Kat was out for appointments or with her boyfriend. However, once Kat returned, Ana had to be awake and ready to be at her service. Despite the grueling work, Ana was not paid for her services. When she brought this up, the influencer became aggressive and used her knowledge of Ana's traumatic past to manipulate her. After 3 harrowing months, Ana finally managed to escape by moving in with a new boyfriend, but it took over a year of therapy for her to break free from Kat's psychological hold. Meanwhile, Kat's online influence continued to grow. Many of her clients felt seen and understood for the first time, becoming dependent on her guidance, and turning to her before making any decision. This influence allowed her to sell every piece of merchandise she released in her online store, making Kat a lot of money. With her success, Kat dreamed bigger and rented a 5-bedroom home in Austin, Texas. In 2022, she moved into this home with her new husband, Zachary Mencken, a 21-year-old man from California. At this point, Kat's methods became more aggressive. She increased her consultation fees and began recruiting her most loyal followers to join her in Texas. One such follower was Desir Freitas, a Brazilian woman living in Germany as part of a school exchange program. Desir had been taking Kat's advice for years and had even broken up with her boyfriend at Kat's urging. To convince Desir to move to Texas, Kat contacted her in tears, fabricating a story about her poor health and emotional state. After a 2-hour conversation, Kat purchased the plane tickets, leaving no room for discussion. Desir, unaware of the difficult life awaiting her in Texas, agreed to go. Once there, Kat convinced Desir that she had to work as a dancer in a gentleman's club to prove her devotion to God and her dreams. Kat claimed that a mystical voice revealed Desir would meet a wealthy man in the club who would give her a luxurious life. Convinced of Kat's supernatural powers, Desir began working full-time as a dancer. She was popular among clients, making $9,000 in tips within 2 weeks. She handed over this money in her passport to Kat for safekeeping, fearing someone might discover she was working in the US illegally. However, as the work hours took a toll on her health, Desir asked to quit and focus on helping with Kat's coaching business. To her surprise, Kat guilt-tripped her for the money spent on tickets, accommodations, and food, even claiming that Desir owed her for being protected by Kat's witchcraft. Kat threatened that if Desir left, she would be cursed and charged for everything. With no passport or money, Desir was forced to stay. Meanwhile, another woman, Sol, a homeless tarot reader and yoga teacher, moved to Austin to help Kat with her wellness business, but like Anna and Desir, she was subjected to unpaid labor. The same occurred with Leticia Alvarenga, a 21-year-old Brazilian woman who abandoned her studies to join Kat's coaching program but was reduced to unpaid labor in Kat's business. Their life in Kat's Austin home was strictly regimented. They were required to be awake from 5 a.m. until 2 a.m., unable to leave their rooms without Kat's permission. To add to the atmosphere of fear, Kat's husband kept 6 guns in the house. As the business grew, Kat introduced new revenue streams, charging exorbitant fees for spiritual baths and encouraging her assistants to offer services to men for money, claiming even models and celebrities had made millions this way. Fearing what would happen if she refused, Desir complied, with Kat setting up her profile on escort websites. Desir was given a daily target of $3,000, and when she failed to meet it, she had to sleep on the street. Through this work, Desir transferred over $21,000 into Kat's account between June and July 2022 alone. As Kat's use of ayahuasca continued, her social media posts became disturbing, with one post even claiming she was Jesus and another threatening her former assistant, Anna. Terrified, Anna reported Kat to the police on March 31, 2022. Sol, who had escaped thanks to an ex-boyfriend, also filed a report, but law enforcement did not take their claim seriously, and no investigation was launched. By September 2022, the families of Desir and Leticia grew concerned after losing contact with them. They launched a social media campaign and reported them missing to the police. Suspecting the women were held in Kat's home, Anna contacted law enforcement and filed an online report with the FBI. Kat defended herself on Instagram, claiming she only wanted to help the women by giving them jobs, and ordered Desir and Leticia to post videos claiming they were exercising free will. However, people speculated Kat used ayahuasca and manipulation to control the women. As the family's concern deepened, they found the women's escort profiles, confirming their worst fears. The families located Kat's Austin address, but Kat had already taken her victims to another house in Maine. On November 1, 2022, a tip from a Homeland Security investigation led Detective David Dayval from Maine to check on the women's welfare. Kat, on the road with her victims at the time, received a FaceTime call from Dayval. Unbeknownst to her, one of the women had started recording Kat's threats. Their road trip was apparently to illegally cross the border into Canada with falsified documentation, but the tip led to Kat's arrest. She was deported back to Brazil, where she faced charges of human trafficking, unlawful labor, and medical fraud. In December 2022, Desir and Leticia were reunited with their families, allowing them to cooperate with the authorities. Kat's first trial, regarding Desir's case, took place in January 2024, with nearly 20 other women who had been scammed or exploited by Kat testifying. In April 2024, Kat was interviewed by the BBC while awaiting her verdict. She showed no remorse, calling her victims liars and claiming there was no evidence against her. Despite her lack of accountability, on June 28, 2024, Kat Torres was sentenced to 8 years in prison for human trafficking and unlawful labor. Investigations into other allegations against Kat are still ongoing. Many of her victims are dealing with the trauma they experienced. Desir has written a book about her ordeal, Anna is working as a nutritionist, Sol is studying to enter law enforcement, and Letitia has returned to her studies. Kat's story serves as a stark reminder of how social media can conceal dangerous people who exploit others for personal gain while showing no remorse. Law enforcement advises the public to be wary of whom they trust online, especially those promising quick fixes. As one officer stated, human traffickers aren't always like in the movies, it's often someone you trust.